Tupac, my brother, was king of the hill, top dog, king of rap. And with it comes a lot of envy, jealousy, and, you know, all types of things. And all I can make of it is there were groups of people who were jealous and envious.
You know, I really gotta have a real conversation with Snoop.
You know, Snoop Dogg showing up at a hospital where Tupac is lying sick, you know. Where the pictures at? Ain't no pictures, nothing? Nah, I didn't see it.
The first thing I said, Snoop. You know, it's kind of messed up that now everybody, you know, showing Pac love, but, you know, Pac was hurt. You know, what happened, you know, what happened in New York, Snoop and this and this and that. And Snoop replied, you know, he was like, you know, I'm like Martin Luther King, Pac was more like Malcolm X, and I'm more, you know, diplomatic. Pac was more like, you know what I mean, the warrior, stuff like that.
There are some shocking new developments surrounding the murder of Tupac Shakur, and a lot of pressure is being put on Snoop Dogg to finally come clean. Tupac's stepbrother Mopreme Shakur recently appeared on the Piers Morgan Show, and he confirmed that the family hired a new lawyer to look into Pac's death and investigate all of the people who may have been involved in the setup. Now let's break down why this is so huge. For years, rumors have been circulating that Snoop has crucial information about who Tupac, but refuses to talk, possibly to protect certain powerful figures in the industry. Of course, one of them being Diddy. It's no secret that Snoop Dogg and Diddy stayed very friendly despite all the tension that followed the East Coast-West Coast rivalry and led to Tupac's untimely death. I mean, until recently, Snoop was a regular at Diddy's parties. Now, I'm not saying he took part in the freak-offs, but he has definitely kept a close relationship with Diddy and his family.
Hold this. I get busy. Go ahead. Lock out on this. Oh, he locked out on like that?
Besides Snoop's friendship with Diddy, another thing that's raised eyebrows is his behavior after Tupac's passing. Pac and Snoop were tight during the early days of their careers, but they had a falling out just before Tupac died, and that's because Snoop aligned himself with Diddy, who Pac believed orchestrated that first shoot Quad Studio in 1994.
I told him that I trained. He was supposed to be thug life. All while he was coming up, I used to let him come on stage with me. He was screaming thug life.
Hey, cause I
he was like, I hate Brooklyn. I hate New York. I'm out. He cheating me. Woo woo woo. All of a sudden he blew up, and he wasn't saying thug life. While I'm in jail, strangers is telling me, yo, you don't know? Biggie Homeboy shot you. Cause they bragging. They telling. Yo, we just got popped.
So the theory goes that Snoop knew Diddy was allegedly responsible for Tupac's, but he not only kept quiet to avoid getting involved in the fallout, but for some reason, he's also stayed close to Diddy for all these years. And now Mopreme Shakur is calling on Snoop to come forward because this isn't just about solving the mystery of Tupac's death, it's about holding people accountable no matter how powerful they are in the industry. And with Alex Spiro now working to get justice for the Shakur family, the truth about Tupac's may be closer than we think.
I think Puffy was involved.
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows.
Rumors about Snoop Dogg being an industry snake have been flying around since the 90s, with some insiders even hinting that he might have had a hand in setting Tupac up. Think back to that now infamous interview Snoop gave just days before Pac was killed, where he made it clear he had no beef with Biggie or Puffy, even though Tupac was fully locked in battle mode against them.
My business, my inspiration, my love. Biggie Smalls, he's an artist that you know what I'm saying, I listen to his music, I love his work. There's no beef, it's nothing personal. I don't hate him and I don't disrespect him and I love what he do, you know what I'm saying? And it's just me, I'm just a smooth, peaceful individual. I don't have beef with nobody right now, baby.
This comment raised a lot of eyebrows back then, and it's still fueling rumors today. And Snoop himself later admitted that his comments about the East Coast were what drove Tupac to cut ties with him.
So because I said I'm cool with Puffy and Biggie doing the interview with you. Tupac took it as if I wasn't down with him no more, as if I was side busted, as if I was scared. Death Row looked at me as like a traitor.
Now, according to Jaguar Wright and some other industry insiders, Snoop was quietly distancing himself from Tupac to protect his own skin. But that's just a part of it. Jaguar has also dropped hints that Snoop may have actually played a part in setting up the events leading to Tupac's death in Las Vegas. According to Jaguar, the music industry is full of gatekeepers who make sacrifices to stay on top. And she even suggested that Snoop's name will come up in the upcoming Keefe D trial for Tupac's murder.
The discovery hearing is coming up. State's going to present their evidence. I would not be surprised if Snoop's name gets mentioned.
Wow.
And it's not just Jaguar throwing shade at Snoop. A bunch of industry insiders are starting to speak up, calling him a snake, from allegedly playing a role in setting up Tupac's murder to siding with Drake in the recent Kendrick Lamar beef after Drake disrespected Tupac. Snoop's actions have a lot of people side-eyeing him.
When Drake first came out, I was like, he just gonna be here and go in the mall. Cause I was like, I keep hearing, you know, the basic. Then I'm like, this don't miss.
No, he's good.
That mother don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
But wait, it gets even messier. Snoop's former boss, Suge Knight, just entered the chat, and he's now claiming Snoop has way more skeletons in his closet than people even realize. So a bunch of Tupac's friends have come forward over the years saying that Snoop was low-key jealous of Pac and couldn't stand the fact that Pac was getting all the shine. Napoleon recently spilled the tea on The Art of Dialogue that Snoop lied about hating Pac's iconic diss track, Hit 'Em Up. And Napoleon reminded everyone there's actual footage of Snoop vibing and rapping along to the track back in the day. It was only after Tupac's passing that Snoop started talking about how he never liked the song because he was all about peace and nonviolence.
You know what I mean? I might not agree with the lyrics of Hit 'Em Up, but when we was young, at that time, it was something that we was pushing. And for Snoop to say he never liked Hit 'Em Up and he didn't, you know what I mean? He never expressed that. You know, you got videos of him on stage with Pac rapping Hit 'Em Up, and he's rapping the lyrics right along with him. You know what I mean? So it's strange now that all these things are coming out and he say he didn't like Hit 'Em Up, you know what I mean? And everybody have their opinion. Even if he didn't like Hit 'Em Up back then, no problem, he have his opinion, but that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He was expressing his love for Hit 'Em Up. He was in the studio bopping his head. He was on the stage when Pac was performing it, singing the lyrics with him at the House of Blue. It's real strange that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I really think, you know, it's a lot of maybe some of the things that he couldn't tell Pac face to face. He's able to do it in these interviews. You know what I mean? It's sad.
And then Lil MB, who used to be part of OFTB under Death Row Records, also came through to co-sign those claims. And he said that Snoop was straight up jealous of the whole Tupac mania happening at the time. According to Lil MB, Snoop couldn't handle how Pac was taking over the game, grabbing all the attention, and he was feeling some type of way about all the love Pac was getting from fans, the industry, and even people in their own circle.
Pac was slowly but surely, you could say, taking over, because he the hottest thing smoking right now. Snoop is cool, but he ain't got no new record. Tupac got all new right. It's hitting you all upside your head right now. So he the hottest thing smoking. So now the tension is getting a little heavy between Snoop and Tupac. And everybody on death row, because we all want. I was so crazy. I told Tupac, and he asked Suge to put our record out. Cause everybody thinking like, ain't nothing finna come out. Now we see ain't nothing finna come out unless it's prepared to come out. And that take a lot of money and preparation. And the only thing that's got all that in it right now is Tupac. So everything is focused on Tupac, and everybody's starting to feel some type of way. Everybody is like bickering over their little, you know, throwing their tantrums about whatever they mad about, which all of it still pertain to everybody want to come out. But ain't nobody got no data, know when they ever come out, and is they gonna ever come out. So it's a lot of tension. And the only thing that's every time you turn around, they flood. This all you hear is all the eyes on me, and you know it's a Tupac mania. It's beautiful because we had everything, but we still got the tension in the room because everybody want to be blowing up. So you know everybody liking it, but then again they ain't.
That's real talk, man. Do you think Snoop felt the type of way about Tupac in the success he was having?
Yeah, of course, man. You the top man. You built Death Row, and now you gotta get in line. Come on, man. How else you gonna feel? Period. It ain't like, you know, we was at, because Snoop had albums ready too. We was having listening parties and all that all the time. He was like, man, that's what I got, big dog. We all in there listening to this dope, but he don't know when it's coming out.
And then Suge Knight decided to stir the pot even more, claiming it wasn't just Snoop who was jealous of Tupac. He said Dr. Dre, the Dog Pound, and almost everyone else at Death Row felt the same.
But for the Puffy situation,
some even speculated Combs was involved in Tupac's death. He denies that.
You know, I really gotta have a real conversation with Snoop. And I know I got a bro named Jaime. He said he be talking to Mike. It's like Mike's show. He said Snoop just a prop, basically. But that's another shit. The reason why I gotta have a conversation with him about is that I've been knowing that young dude a long time. He ain't young no more, but I've been knowing him since he was a young man. And I did everything in my power to make sure he kept his freedom.
The case that they gave me, I'm innocent.
For almost 2 years, Snoop has been out on $1 million bail paid by Death Row Records.
But Suge didn't stop there. In a recent episode of his prison podcast, Suge threw even more shade and suggested that Snoop has a lot of explaining to do when it comes to Tupac's death.
And I knew that Pac did everything right by him by putting him on All Eyes on Me, speaking about him and being real with him. And if it's true what they say,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Face-to-face is going to be a lot of explaining to do.
Suge also brought up the story from Warren G, who previously revealed on Drink Champs that he convinced Snoop to stay with him in LA instead of going to Las Vegas with Tupac and Suge the night Pac was killed. Apparently, Snoop had originally planned to head to Vegas for the Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon fight on September 7th, 1996. But thanks to Warren, he changed his mind and stayed back in LA instead.
He came to me for the fight instead of going to Vegas.
So he never went to Vegas?
He never went to Vegas. He didn't go off top.
So Warren spilled that he and Snoop first heard about Tupac getting through a live update on the Nextel walkie-talkie while they were just hanging out at Warren's spot in LA. But Suge wasn't buying it, and he questioned why Snoop even had a walkie-talkie on him that night.
Only way you would have a radio if you was at the fight with us and you had a security detail. Now, not having a security detail, what are you doing with the radio?
But Suge took it a step further and accused Snoop and former Death Row artist Daz Dillinger of teaming up on a track with Tupac's alleged DeAndre Smith. But it gets even crazier. Suge claimed that Snoop actually warned Daz not to go to Vegas the night Tupac was shot. And then Suge went on to say Snoop flat out lied about getting kicked out of the hospital when he supposedly went to visit Tupac after the According to Suge, Snoop never even stepped foot in the hospital to see Pac. And Danny Boy backed this up too, saying he never saw Snoop visit Pac at all.
You know, at this point, it's not like a thing that I would argue because that's something that he has to live with. I just know for the time that I was there, he must have snuck in. Everybody else when those people came, I think a lot of people came like right when they found out Pac was either dying and I didn't know about it, so to say, or they showed up, a lot of people showed up the day of him passing. But I can't say that it was a lot of Death Row people or Death Row artists that was there. A lot of the representatives and people, the administrative people out of them, and the outlaws, I could see them. I could almost go in my mind and see everybody that came. And then, you know, anybody could argue the fact, well, I wasn't there 24 hours a day. But, you know, Snoop Dogg showing up at a hospital where Tupac is lying sick, you know, where the pictures at? Ain't no pictures, nothing? Nah, I didn't see it.
And now things are heating up even more after news broke that Tupac's family is determined to uncover the truth once and for all and expose everyone involved. According to Us Weekly, the Shakur family enlisted the help of high-profile attorney Alex Spiro to investigate Diddy's potential links to Tupac's 1996. But it doesn't stop there. The family is not just interested in targeting Diddy, they want to shine a light on all the other industry players who have stayed silent over the years, profiting off of Tupac's legacy while cozying up to those who conspired against him. Meanwhile, in a recent appearance on the Piers Morgan Show, Tupac's brother Mopreme opened up about a phone call he had with Diddy, where Diddy insisted he had no involvement in Tupac's death. But Mopreme made it clear it's entirely possible that Diddy was lying through his teeth.
Because you know, and I know, that everyone believes that Diddy was involved in both these and had a direct involvement in your brother's death. That is what the streets have said for 27 years. That's why 50 Cent said it. That's why Eminem has said similar stuff. What's interesting to me about your involvement in this is that Diddy actually called you after an LA Times article in 2008 alleging he'd been involved in your brother's death. What did he say that day when he called you?
He was in town. He was in LA at the time. He was on the radio. He asked a local DJ that we all know, Big Boy, to reach out to me because he wanted to speak to me about something. This is a few years after Pac's, and you know, we all were familiar with all the rumors and stuff. I said, yeah, let me talk to him. So he called me, and you know, I had my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's. And I told him the truth is still yet to come out, so we're gonna see. Here we are 27, 28 years later. Looks like there's some doubt in that statement. So, thus, you know, along with all the other suspicions that people have, you know, it was time for it to be investigated.
In a statement at the time, Diddy declared, "This story is a lie," the LA Times story. "Neither I nor the late Notorious had any knowledge of any attack on Tupac before, during, or after it happened." Do you think that was an honest statement?
My opinion is that I don't believe it was a 100% honest statement. So again, got to find out what's true and what's false, what's real and what's fake.
Do you think he was lying?
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way.
By the way, back in October 2023, shortly after Keefe D's arrest, Mopreme said in another interview that he was still waiting for police to take the allegations against Diddy seriously. He made it clear that Keefe's arrest is just the tip of the iceberg, and he hinted there's a much larger player behind the scenes.
You know, they're making someone accountable. Now, are they going to make everyone that he's talking about, if they're using to drop this indictment?
And when pressed directly about Diddy's potential involvement, Mopreme didn't outright confirm anything, but he made it clear that he expects law enforcement to investigate every name that's been mentioned in connection to Tupac's passing.
Law enforcement has a job to do. Will they do it? It does feel like, you know, Pac is being vindicated because, you know, back in them days when things were going down, everybody thought he was crazy. He may not have expressed it properly, but that don't mean he was wrong.
So will this ongoing investigation finally bring Snoop Dogg into the spotlight and reveal if he's known all along who was responsible for Tupac's death? Well, that's the million-dollar question. And while we can't say for sure yet, fans have been side-eyeing Snoop for quite some time now. And the fact that he's kept such a close relationship with Diddy over the years is definitely raising some serious red flags. One fan shared their theory saying Diddy went to Snoop for the hit on Pac and then helped Snoop crush multiple members of Death Row and ended up taking over Death Row by setting up Suge. And another person added, yep, Snoop was jealous of Pac too. That's why he kept asking Pac if he was going to the Tyson fight. The were Crips like Snoop. Plus, they were beefing. Snoop is very tight with Diddy and has been for years. But what's your take on this? Do you believe Snoop might hold the key to solving the mystery of Tupac's death? And what are your thoughts on why Snoop has stayed close to Diddy all these years? Drop your opinions in the comment section below. And don't miss out on this next video.